Okay, I am live. I am super excited about that. This is my first live, and I'm excited, but I'm also scared because I haven't done a YouTube live, I don't think ever on any channel. And I really haven't had that many channels. And I know this is not great lighting. I'm sorry about that. Maybe I should turn on the overhead light, although that is a lot of lighting. And thank you to my son. I'm borrowing his room. He is actually in California right now. Maybe that's better. And I am not because I wouldn't be wearing this garb. This is cold weather garb. And I've been outside collecting snow for snow cream and that kind of thing today. So let me also close the door. Uh, because it's snowy and icy here, and I just wrote a newsletter, and I should have probably mentioned this live, but I did not know that I was going to be able to go live today. So I'm so excited that I can do that. Um, and yes, the washer and dryer are in my son's room. He's very tolerant of that when he's here. So, but he is in California, and he was supposed to come in, but with all the snow and ice, he has not been able to come in. So that's kind of a bummer. But I was looking forward to seeing him. But I'm thankful he's okay. And two of my sons are in California, and I'm in the Southeast, and one of my sons is here, and my husband. So we're all here. My husband works remotely. And today, let me explain that. I usually, one of my income streams, two of my income streams actually, are something on the screen I was trying to get. Two of my income streams are delivering things, food delivery, and also I deliver other things, lots of different things, a lot of prescriptions, but other things too. And I can talk about those as well. But a lot of times I'm finding that I'm using the delivery stuff as an excuse because it is trading time for dollars. And I'm using that as an excuse and I usually am exhausted when I come in. And so I've been doing the delivery stuff, and I have not been doing um, the online marketing stuff. But recently I invested in the Legacy Builders 2.0 program, and that comes with certification. So I can talk a little bit tonight about what I learned in certification, which is super exciting. I mean, it is. I'm excited to be here. I can't believe I have my own business. So I'm very. I might keep my boots on. It's pretty chilly here. It's supposed to get, I think, 8 degrees tonight. So that's why I'm dressed so warmly. This is what I wore outside earlier. And also my son and I were, he's an adult, but I was like, let's ride the sled. And we did. It was a good snow for that because it's got some ice to it. So it all worked out really nicely. I'm super thankful that I get to see snow. I love snow. But it is cold tonight. And then because I couldn't go anywhere, I mean, I could have. There were people passing. I live out in the country. This is where I grew up. And I'm out in the country, and there were some four-wheel drives that went by today, but I went out, and the road was scraped two or three times, and it it's still icy, and it's going to be so cold tonight. So I haven't gone anywhere since Saturday night. So I haven't delivered anything since Saturday afternoon because we were trying to get ready for this winter weather. And that included taking back a rental car because I had a rental car that I was using for my delivery because otherwise I put so many miles on the Honda Odyssey. And that's why I'm trying to kind of get out of that. I mean, you think about an investment for the Legacy Builders program. And even the highest investment, I think I have spent more with a rental car than I have uh, spent for the Legacy Builders program. And I sometimes make more than the daily cost for the um, when I have the rental car. But it's great not to have that expense right now, and that's why I'm really focused on the online marketing program. And so last night and tonight, I am I got my certification. I started it last night, and then um, it's lengthy, and I really had to do some thinking, and you have to write a lot of stuff, but you learn a lot of stuff, and I'm really thankful about that. So I want to go over some of that stuff that I learned, and this is my first live, so I hope some of you are watching. Also, I was on another social media platform, and some of you might have seen me there. One of my channels seems to be just gone, and I don't know why. And yesterday I was uploading things, and it had 0 views. So I also use that uh, as an opportunity to pivot to YouTube, which I've been wanting to do for a while, but again, the delivery stuff does take a lot of time. And so, and sometimes when I get home at night or whenever, um, I'm really exhausted and I don't feel like devoting this time. So I'm thankful for the snow and the quiet of the snow and the sort of new start of the snow that I have now. And I want to go live, and I will go live probably a lot. We'll see. But I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm also super excited and super thankful for this. So, what did I learn today? Well, one thing I learned is that and by the way, I do want to say that I am a certified reseller of Legacy Builders 2.0, and it is a great system. And the reason I'm doing this live and the reason I do YouTube videos is to tell you about the system. And yes, I do want you to invest in it, because if you want to learn online marketing, it's just a great thing to do. It's really wonderful. And I have not tried other online marketing programs. There is one actually that I am a part of that's a subscription program, and I might talk about more of that later. But and a lot of people went to that and thought this is going to be great and are having success with it. But I just love this program, the Legacy Builders program, because it is, and that's why I'm promoting it, because it's great if you've never done anything like this, and even if you have, it's a really good system. I was on a Legacy Builders call today, a Zoom call, and they have a lot of those very helpful people in the digital growth community. And at whatever level you invest, you get to be a part of that community. And so I was on a call today, and there were people who had done like network marketing and affiliate marketing, and they were saying how wonderful the Legacy Builders program is, um, with much better than the other programs they had been in. And the founder and CEO, Michelle O'Neill, was also in affiliate marketing and or network marketing. And she talked about how wonderful she thought everything was when she started the Legacy Builders program. And she became a 6-figure earner in, I don't, a couple of years, and then a millionaire. She's got so many wonderful ideas, and she could just stop and live on her investments and do her thing, but she is very interested excuse me, and in teaching people how the stuff that she's learned. So, which is wonderful. I'm super excited about that. I also want to go get wait a minute. Here's a napkin. I can use that as a Kleenex. I didn't mean to sneeze. Sorry. excuse me, but it is very, um, ah, it's cold. So I don't have a cold, but it's cold, and sometimes my nose runs when it's cold. So also, I have a LinkedIn page, Patricia Shore, and this YouTube, and I don't know what's happening with the other social media platforms, so I will refrain from suggesting that you go there right now. But one thing I learned is that uh, one of the many things I learned is, what kind of videos to do, story-based videos, educational videos, um, and one thing I'm really learning in this program, and I feel sort of ashamed because I used to be an English teacher, and I started out writing fiction. I have a master's degree in English, and you would think that I would understand the importance of storytelling and how to tell stories, because that's really the basis of everything. I mean, if you listen to the news, it's all about stories. Oh my goodness, my battery's running low. I'm also going to need to go get the cord. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. I hope. I think. Yes. Yes, yes, I'm back. Thank you for being patient. I was talking about storytelling and the importance of it, and how you would think that I would have learned about that. And maybe that's why I went from fiction to poetry. Although poems also tell stories as well. Everything we do is a story. I mean, really, yeah, it's the importance of storytelling is is huge. And I've also written an essay, and you'll see this on my LinkedIn page if you go there. But I have written a an article for a Women in Technical Writing, because I used to be a technical writer and technical editor for a number of years. And I was so honest in this story, and I realized that part of the problem is that I haven't been very honest with myself most of my life. And I can go back. I was adopted, am adopted. And when you're adopted, most of the time, there were so many lies around that. So it became really easy for me to lie to myself. And I think that was a problem when I was teaching English, and when I was in the fiction program. I mean, fiction, right? I should have I should have been able to lie, but there's a certain truth that has to be in fiction as well. And I think I like poetry better because there was also a certain truth that seemed to be required for that. So I'm getting ready to publish my thesis, actually, or most of it, which I did a long time ago, but have not published it. And so I can let you know more about that. But that those are all stories, telling stories, and so I'm learning the importance of storytelling, the importance of talking about the struggle that you have, the importance, of talking about the transformation that you have. And those are all parts of fiction stories, of books, of anything. And most anything that you read, there's a struggle, there's a beginning, middle, and end, we call it. And there's a transformation, and there's a solution. And those are elements of storytelling that that I can use in these videos, and I'm learning how to do that. And some people I have heard invest in this program specifically for the storytelling aspect of it. to learn how to do that better in marketing. And if you've ever worked in marketing, and I was in sales way back last century, I was in sales, and the story is the important thing. I was in television and radio sales. So, in that, you know, why should we advertise on your television station? Well, I had to have a story about that. And, it had to do with, in our case, I was on a UHF station, and there were not a lot of, we did not have high rated shows, but a lot of people watched us and watched certain programs. And so I had to come up with a story about that would be true, but also would put us in a good light, um, and tell people why they should advertise with us. And then I went to another station, and I had to do the same thing with that other station. Um, and then I had to talk about this station that I was with previously. So it's an important thing to really talk about, to really learn stories. I mean, that, and I thought about it, like even Bible stories, that's how we learn stuff. And Michelle O'Neill, who's the CEO, says, um, it's we don't tell our children bedtime facts, we tell them bedtime stories. And that's really an important part of our culture, and just an important part of humanity. I mean, we're always telling stories. This happened today, that happened today. How was your day? Well, here's what happened. Well, that's a story. You're telling something that happened. You're telling a story. So you would think it would be easy, but um, learning to do that with marketing is a challenge, because a lot of times I'll leave out stuff. and you need to include things. There's certain things that you need to include. You need to include the struggle. You need to include the solution. And you need to include how you transformed. So, in other words, for instance, um, I am about $40,000 in debt. That's a struggle. I'm a homeschooling mom with a huge gap in my resume. That's a struggle. The solution is the Legacy Builders 2.0 program. And it allows me to have my own business, and it allows me to help other people learn to do what I'm learning to do, which is the online marketing. And it has transformed me already, even though I have not made a penny with it yet. It has already transformed me. It has helped me to have better use of my time. And it's funny because a few months ago, I started praying. We pray in the morning. I like to pray most every morning, with our family. And I started praying that God would help me to use my time wisely. And then I came up, and then I heard about this. I got this timesheet, and Michelle O'Neill suggested that we write down what we do every 30 minutes. What are you doing every 30 minutes? And that's what I'm doing on this sheet right here. I'm writing down what I do every 30 minutes. And then now I learned tonight, or yesterday and tonight in the certification, about the 2-hour workday. And in a 2-hour workday, and Michelle O'Neill says structure equals freedom. So in the 2-hour workday, we make 3 videos. That takes an hour. We learn to do that in an hour. And then 30 minutes doing a live, like I'll do a 30-minute live today. And then 30 minutes answering email. And like I wrote my newsletter tonight. And then I also like to look at the videos on the other social media platform that I may not be on anymore. Not sure how that's going to be. But the other day I did there was somebody who wanted a copy of the blueprint, which is free. So I was able to help her, and um, she's now on my email list. And I wrote my newsletter tonight, so she'll get a copy of that. So 30 minutes for that. And if you really spend that time focused, now, my 30 minutes used to be like, okay, that, and then maybe 10 minutes of scrolling. And I also have to break up things a lot of times. I haven't had to these past couple of days, but if I'm doing delivery stuff, maybe I'll do a couple of videos while I'm out delivering and that kind of thing. So, but the 2-hour workday is a highly structured, and it allows you to have the other 22 hours in the day to do whatever you want. And that's lovely. That's another thing I wish I had found when I was homeschooling my sons, because there were so many times that we wanted to do things, and I didn't have the money, or we had to put something on credit card, and then it was really difficult for me to just make good use of time and to be consistent with their lessons. It was really difficult to me. I'm a compulsive under earner in recovery, and also an alcoholic in recovery. So it's really difficult sometimes for me to, my life is unmanageable in a lot of ways. And I really want to give that over to God every day and let Him handle those issues with me. But I just found out in the past few months, I realized that I was a compulsive under earner, and there's a lot of self sabotage that goes on, and a lot of I'm not valuable enough, I'm not worthy. But one thing I'm learning in this program, and this was not in the certification, but it's inside the program, is I am worthy of making six figures. And that is my goal this year, to make six figures. And I've never done that before in my life. I've never made six figures. My oldest son, when I gave birth to him 25 years ago, I was making $70,000 a year. It was the most money I had ever made. And, I kept trying to do things online and open my own business. I wanted to do that, but I didn't have the confidence to do it. I didn't think I had the time to do it. Um, but 2 hours a day, okay, I have that. But, this wasn't around 25 years ago. And I wish it had been, because it would have made my life a lot easier. And in addition to just sometimes not being able to do stuff, or doing it and put it on credit card, and that's how we racked up all this credit card debt. That's part of it. Um, in addition to that, there's just the whole stress of it, and I use that as an excuse to not be consistent in teaching them. So a lot of the lessons were not very consistent, and we did a lot of traveling. We went a lot of places. They have turned out really well despite all that, I'm thankful to say. They're all doing college. One's going to be a welder, one's going to be a history teacher, one's a musician. They're all three musicians, but one is specializing in music, and one wants to be a welder, and one wants to be a history teacher. So I'm really thankful that they turned out well despite all that. But now they're seeing that mom is getting her stuff together and getting her time together. And as a result, I'm setting boundaries, and that's something that I've not done before. And I'm not saying that Legacy Builder is the only thing that's given me this, but I think it's given me the impetus to do it. Just knowing that, yes, I want to succeed in this business. Yes, I want to build a legacy for my family. And they have so much mindset training. My mindset is completely different than it was a year ago. And I've realized that even the delivery stuff, it's like, yes, that's my business. I have a 1099, I can make as much money with that or as little money with that as I want, that's my business. And, um, I'm learning to look at that as a business woman, and that's pretty exciting for me. I'm very thankful. When I tried to do things online previously, I didn't have the right system. I didn't know what I was doing. Sometimes I would do editing and I would want to get clients and I didn't know how to do it. And it was just a mess. And I was technical editing for a company way over, like, I think they were in China. And it was like, and they had these crazy deadlines and they would interfere. I remember being at a fast food restaurant and not wanting to be there at all. But I had a deadline, and then I had picked my kids up from a history class, homeschooling history class that they had taken, and, I didn't wanna take them to a fast food restaurant, but I had to do that because they had internet and and we were an hour from home, and I needed to let them eat something, you know, and it was at a place that had internet. Oh, it's getting dark and it's cold and I wanna go to bed. Um, but I'm so very thankful, um, that I found this because this I get to set my own schedule and I don't have to be on somebody else's deadline. I don't have to edit. I want to edit, I there's a newsletter I send out. I wrote that and I edited it and I want it to look good, but I don't have anybody grading me on it. Ugh, I hated that. So, I get to use my writing skills and my marketing skills, but I'm just learning also about attraction marketing, another part of the certification. Maybe I'll talk about that quickly before I'm almost at 30 minutes. But um, attraction marketing is so different. It's a very different thing than traditional marketing, where we used to call it pounding the pavement, and you go and you beg people to buy, and you come up with a story, and you hope that they'll buy, and you want them to buy your station, and you want to maybe you offer to do them a commercial or something like that, throw that in or do something, uh, and you were trying to get them to buy, but it's changed. The online space has really changed things. And now you don't have to do that kind of thing. There are over 5 billion people, billion social media users. You've just got to learn to attract the people that want your product, whatever your product is. And I'm learning that in this program, and I learned that was one of the certification questions was about, attraction marketing versus traditional marketing. Um, and attraction marketing is learning who your ideal customer is. There's so much work with that I'm doing in this program. Learning the ideal customer, and then, um, learning how you can serve that ideal customer. And attracting the ideal customer, putting yourself in a space where the ideal customer sees you and goes, "Hey, that's like me." And that's why I bought this. I invested in this Legacy Builders program because a homeschooling mom friend of mine did it, and she made 5 figures her first month. That's her experience. It may or may not be your experience. It was not my experience, but some people do. Some people have success right off the bat, and she had sort of a following. You don't have to have a following. I didn't have any following, but she did have a following, and I think that helps. I mean, always, but she did have a following. I didn't have a following, and you don't have to have a following. You also don't have to have tech skills. So anybody can really do this, but it's a program that's not for everybody. I mean, there is a six-figure welder, Daryl. His last name is Hannah. Um, but I think it's spelled different than the actress's last name. But um, he was homeless. And he's gotten a lot of homeless people into this program because he was homeless, and people identify with that. And homeless people can do this if they have a phone and Wi-Fi. They can do this. They can do this online marketing program. So it's really wonderful that way. And part of me, I have 3 academic degrees, and part of me is like, I can do something that a homeless person can do, and it's like, yeah. And the homeless person may also have 3 academic degrees. Having a degree does not guarantee money. Um, and nothing guarantees money. But if you have your own business, you have to go out there and you have to learn and you have to really figure out how to be a business owner. And the Legacy Builders program makes that easy. So I've talked about attraction marketing. I've also talked about storytelling, and those are 2 of the really huge things in the Legacy Builders program. And I'll do another live, and if all goes well, I mean, hey, I'm still surviving. I don't know if anybody's watching. I don't know how this works, but uh, uh, I'm thankful. I'm thankful I've been able to do this, and I do plan to do more lives. If you are watching this now, or if you're watching it at a later date, I really appreciate your watching this, and I hope to talk to you again soon. Take care. Okay.